Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Matt.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Pop-Pop.
I'm Callie.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
I'm Gus.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. We are finishing off morning chores. We've got the animals all taken care of. We got the farm market all set up and filled up, and we've been going through our greenhouses. Greenhouse number 5 is now completely emptied of mums. And when it comes to greenhouse number 4, we've been putting a sizable dent into it. Since we've gone through and gotten all the chores taken care of, we're getting ready to move on to some harvesting. But before we can do that, we have a few orders that we need to make sure we get filled. And one of them is a large tomato order, over 20 half bushel of plum tomatoes. Those are some tomatoes that we had previously picked for the order. We're taking them up top to get them all boxed up and ready to go. It's put a good dent into the tomato storage that we've had, but we still have plenty here just in case that we need them. And Dad is sorting through some tomatoes, finding really nice ones that we can sell individually to the customers. The person that ordered the 20 half bushel of plum tomatoes has actually just shown up at the farm. So Matthew and Daniel are gonna be getting that all taken care of. They're gonna be boxing them up and then loading them into their vehicle. So since we have some time before we're gonna head out to the fields, Dad and I decided to go and sort more tomatoes. So right now I'm going through the plum tomatoes. These are ones that we had picked previously. So I'm taking out everything that is bad, and I'm also taking all the tomatoes that still aren't 100% ripe yet, and I'm sorting them out. And I'm taking all the tomatoes that are ready for canning now, and I'm putting them into a different basket. This definitely isn't the most exciting job, but it's one that needs to be done. We try and sort through the tomatoes often. That way we can sell them at a maturity or a ripeness that our customers are really gonna need. By sorting out the tomatoes, it helps us to keep everything in order, and it helps us just to keep track of our numbers. We got a few tomatoes sorted and onto our cart. We needed a few round and a few plum. We've got that taken care of. And we've gone through some of our plum over here. We've taken the ones that are really not ripe yet, and we've moved them into some baskets. We've got a good selection here, but not enough tomatoes, so we need to go out and get picking. Which is where we're off to next. It's time to pick. So we're getting ready to head over and start picking tomatoes, all of us together. But then Dad and I were given a special mission. See, Grammy, she needs sweet corn to freeze. So guess what? Dad and I gotta go get sweet corn for Grammy. So I got a few baskets here on the truck. We're gonna run over and get sweet corn picked, and Matthew and Daniel, they're going over to get tomatoes picked. Grammy really needs that sweet corn this morning, doesn't she?
She has a schedule.
Yeah, she's got a schedule. We've decided to bring the truck out here today. We only need 150 years, so no reason to get the tractor out in the middle of the field. Grammy has instructed us she's looking for fat ears. So we're gonna try and find some fat ears. And there we have it. Those last ears finished off what we needed for Grammy. 150 with a few extra. Now Grammy has specific taste for sweet corn. She's been doing this for a very long time. So we had to make sure that we got some sweet corn that was a little bit on the older side. And Grammy's got a whole method. I think Matthew and I are planning on doing some sweet corn for ourselves here soon. So we'll just be following her lead. I don't think she's gonna be helping us though. I think Matthew and I are gonna be doing it by ourselves. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. You gotta freeze some sweet corn. But now that we got what Grammy needed, we are gonna be on our way back to the farm, get this stuff dropped off, and we're going out to pick tomatoes. We just got the sweet corn all dropped off. Parking lot is completely full of customers, and we are now getting ready to go out and pick tomatoes, so I'm hopping in the side-by-side. Don't worry, boys, don't worry. We got Grammy all taken care of. Crisis averted.
Thank goodness, guys.
I'm so glad you took care of Grammy.
I'm currently picking tomatoes in the last patch that we had planted. So this is our third planting of tomatoes, and I'm looking for plum currently. Now, because this is the third patch, it's not like the normal picking that you'll see us doing. What we're doing is we're picking in one spot, and then we're looking for another spot where we have ripe tomatoes, and we're hopping to that one. And that's kind of how we pick the last planting up until the point that it's ripened to what our other plantings are at now. You see, when we pick our other tomatoes, we can just slowly move down through the field. Well, we can't do that with these tomatoes just yet. When they ripen up a little bit more, we will be able to, but for now, we're just hopping around looking for nice tomatoes. This will never be considered one of the fastest ways to pick tomatoes, but it is one of the best ways to find nice tomatoes. When we start seeing our last planting ripening up, we really like to go through early and pick off all the ripe ones that we can, just to get more tomatoes, really. As the third planting starts to push on, there's a high chance that disease, weather, or even animals will cause problems. So by picking them off early, we're saving some headaches. You're always going to deal with different types of damage when it comes to your crop throughout the years. So if we can mitigate it in any way, we're going to do our best. And by going through and picking these tomatoes before anything happens to them, we make sure that we're going to get a nice harvest. Now, in this particular row, there is a lot of tomatoes, and as they continue to ripen up, we're gonna get plenty of baskets out through this field. But for now, if I can get a few here or there, I'm happy. Wow, look at this. Wow. This is picking tomatoes. This is the best thing about picking tomatoes. I love finding clumps like that where they're all ready to go. I'm starting to find a few more plum tomatoes, but there's not near as many plum tomatoes as there is round tomatoes out here. Dad, Matthew, and Daniel have been making it through the rows rather quickly. And one thing I will say about these tomatoes is they're beautiful, but they are large. These are some large tomatoes that we're finding out here. And I'd love to tell you what varieties they are, but I can't remember. I know we planted a few different varieties in this section of field, and we can't remember. Maybe if we went back and looked at footage, we could figure it out, but I can't remember off the top of my head. All I will say is if we continue to have tomatoes like this, we better figure out what variety it is. The boys have got all their round tomatoes picked, but we just don't seem to have enough plum tomatoes in this new planting. So we're gonna be taking our baskets and every single one of us over to one of the other plantings to get the rest of the plum tomatoes picked. So for those of you that were curious, the planting that we were just picking in was our third planting, and this is our first planting. We've already gone through and picked our first planting 3 or 4 times. We've been able to stay on top of the tomatoes and get as many ripe ones as possible. And we're about to do another thorough picking of the first planting again. So basically anything red and anything changing color is gonna be coming with us. and taken back to the farm market. We will then wash everything and sort everything into different baskets. We've already done this quite a few times with these rows. These plants are used to getting picked, and we're coming through and picking them again. There does seem to be quite a bit here as well. We haven't moved that far and we've already got quite a few baskets of plum tomatoes laying alongside this road. It makes me so happy to see this many tomatoes and that we're able to harvest as many as we have. It just makes the harvest year go by a lot quicker, but also you just enjoy it so much more. Now I think something that not many people that watch the videos realize is that we're not just picking the tomatoes for the videos. We pick tomatoes every single day of the week. There's a lot of tomatoes that we sell through the farm market. Because we harvest so many tomatoes, it requires a lot of baskets and a lot of time. So you will notice that it does take up a bulk of our day getting all these tomatoes picked. We're hoping to get quite a few baskets today because we're going into the weekend and we know it's going to be a busy canning weekend. So if we can have as many tomatoes as possible back at the farm, we're going to do it. Time is very important to us. When we first started making videos, there's a lot of people that questioned the way we raise our tomatoes. We don't trellis them out in the field, we just let them fall on the ground. And that was new to a lot of people. But when you see the amount of picking that we do and the amount of work that goes into what we do every day, it's kind of easy for people to understand why we don't stake them. It's just another big job, and we do not have enough time in the day, or I should say enough time in the year, to add another giant job like that. Now, if we ran into a few years where we had bad tomatoes or they just weren't doing right, maybe we would try staking a few of them just to see if that would do anything different. But for the most part, we haven't had any trouble with tomatoes for the past few years. We've harvested tons and tons of tomatoes. And it's something that I've always enjoyed, but it's something that we've always done together as a family, which also makes it cool. We've had years where every single day of the week, we'd be out here picking, and then on the weekends, we'd have a whole bunch of family come over and pick with us. Now, we haven't had to do that in a long time, which is nice, because usually when you have the whole family over picking, it means there's something bad coming, like a hurricane's coming, or you're about to get a lot of rain, because when you get a lot of rain, well, that can split your tomatoes. So we haven't had any instances where we've had to go through and try and pick everything out in the field. The weather has been cooperating, but that doesn't mean the weather could change for the worse. We are at the time of the year where the South is receiving a lot of intense storms, and a lot of the storms that they get down there will follow the coast up to where we live in Northeast Pennsylvania. They'll hit the massive air that is coming out of the north in Canada and the massive air coming out of the south, and it just follows right up along where we are. So a lot of those storms that come up here, we get hit by a lot of rain. So we haven't had too much yet this year to give us concerns about tomato splitting, but it's something we're definitely going to be watching out for in the near future. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. You know, we pick a lot of tomatoes, but as long as the weather agrees with us and doesn't give us any fits, we're going to be able to continue picking a lot of tomatoes. And believe me, we'll be making videos about it because I just love doing this. Speaking of professional tomato farmer, how you feeling over there, Dad? You doing good?
Yep.
You tired of being bent over for the year yet?
Nope.
Nope. He's hitting his stride. He's hitting his tomato picking
Just
stride.
getting in shape.
Yep. What shape are you getting into? The shape of a tomato?
Round.
Yeah. We just got all our plum tomatoes picked. We've got a decent amount of baskets here, but we have our wagon all set up to load the round tomatoes. So we're gonna run over there, get our round tomatoes loaded up, take those back to the farm, and then we'll grab our plum tomatoes. So as you can see, we've got an entire full wagon of beautiful round tomatoes. We're gonna be taking these back to the farm. While I'm here though, Dad really wanted me to show you guys what we have in store for the near future. The size of these round tomatoes that are coming, and they're all green. And it's not just like that here. This entire row, as we go down through, has large green tomatoes ready to be Well, I should say not ready to be picked, but close to being ready to be picked. We've done a lot of picking this morning when it comes to tomatoes. I just checked the time, it's past lunch. So we've been out here for a while. We got a lot of round, a lot of plum pick, and we are now on our way home to get these all taken care of. Does it look like it's busy here? Look at all those cars. They're probably all here for tomatoes too. Hopefully not.
That's corn, and then I have...
For lunch today, it looks like we're having some BLTs with some fresh veggies. And over here is some spaghetti sauce that Grammy just made. Ooh, wow. We're all finished with lunch, and that brings us down around back. We're gonna get all these round tomatoes that we just harvested, ran through the washer and sorted. In years past, we haven't done this, but recently we've seen kind of the better opportunities it gives us when it comes to selling the tomatoes. So now that we run them all through the washer and sort them, we feel like we're making the best decision for our tomatoes. All the round tomatoes on our wagon have now been sorted. We have a few number ones. I think we got 6 or 7 baskets of number ones. So those are tomatoes without any imperfections. So they have no problems with them. They're beautiful tomatoes. And then we have some canning tomatoes. These are a little cheaper than our number ones. Our canners can have slight imperfections. Mostly we're looking for nothing that is, I want to say like a wet cut on the tomato. We don't want anything like that because it could lead to rotting. So we've got our canning tomatoes all set in place. And then we've got a few unripe tomatoes or tomatoes that we're gonna just let sit down here. They're mostly canning tomatoes, but there are some number ones in there as well. So as they start to ripen up, we're gonna have to sort through them. When it comes to the type of tomatoes that you have, the price can vary quite a bit between canners and number ones, but you pay for the quality. And most of the time, if you're making salsa or if you're making sauce, you don't want number ones. You want canning tomatoes because it's a lot cheaper for you. So tomatoes that are gonna get all blended up, they don't need to be perfect. I'm telling you that now. So we have a good amount of tomatoes down here. We are gonna have to grab our plum tomatoes. Not sure if we're gonna be able to do that next. We might have a job in between, but for now, we've got a nice looking batch of tomatoes down here. So we did end up making our way out here to the plum tomatoes. We're gonna get all these picked up and onto the wagon, and we're gonna get them home and out of the heat as well. Oh no, Daniel, you know what's worse than picking tomatoes once?
Hearing your brother say that.
Picking them twice! I just don't think Daniel finds me as funny as he used to.
He's an old married person now.
Yeah, he's an old fuddy-duddy. And just like that, we got another beautiful wagon load of tomatoes. We're gonna get this back to the farm. Now we're trying to do something a little different with the plum. We're trying to store as little down here as possible because we know we've got a lot of customers coming over the weekend looking for plum tomatoes. So once we get all the orders filled, which we have, we're gonna take all the ripe canning tomatoes up and put them out to sell. Kitty, 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 kitty. Yeah. Screechy girl, screechy girl. Screech. Good girl. Good girl. We got a lot of our tomatoes ran through the washer, and we've got all our ripe ones ready for canning loaded onto the wagon. So we're gonna be taking that up. And then over here, we have a few of the ones that are not ready to go yet. We're now gonna be taking all the canning tomatoes up and getting them ready for selling. We've got 10.5 baskets of the round canning tomatoes. And then over here, we have 20 baskets of the plum canning tomatoes. Man, it's just beautiful to see. I use the word beautiful a lot, don't I? But I just don't know another word to substitute. Amazing, fantastic, great, great. Well, Well, it's not too hard to guess where we are. We've already been out here once today to grab corn for Grammy. Now we need corn for the farm market, so we're looking to get an entire bin full. And what's important to remember with this patch of sweet corn we have here, this picking that we do today, it might be the last time we come over here for sweet corn for the year, because this patch will be completely wiped off. And then Dana, where would our next patch of sweet corn be?
Back home.
Back home, yep, back on the home farm, which is exciting. It takes a little bit of time to get all the way out here. If we can just get sweet corn from the home farm, oh, so nice. One thing I will say about this sweet corn though, is it has been completely beautiful on this farm. We've had really, really nice stuff. Well, believe it or not, we've picked all the sweet corn off of this farm. Wow, time is flying through the year. But we got all the sweet corn we could from here. We're gonna head back to the farm and yeah, we'll get this stuff out to sell. We just got back to the farm and I think this is the first time I've seen the farm market all day not have anybody here. It's been insane for the girls. So it's nice that they're getting a little break. Don't worry, Daniel, we're here, we're here. We got all the sweet corn moved into the farm market, and then we were looking at some stuff that we needed to get done, and one big glaring thing was peppers. We need a few different baskets of peppers, some for orders, and some just because we ran out. So I grabbed a few baskets. I'm gonna be working on Cubanelle. We need quite a few of those. Dad, Matthew, and Daniel are all working on hot cherry peppers because we have like weird specific orders for them. Some are all red. Some people don't want the bottoms to be pointy. We normally don't do that when we pick. Like we'll pick all of one color, but when people start being concerned about the shape of the pepper, that's the problem. But Daniel said he could do it for the guy, so Daniel is happily picking the order. We've made a lot of progress. Matthew is finishing off our last basket that we needed of jalapenos. So we've got jalapenos, eggplant, hot cherry peppers, Cubanelles, and long hots. And there goes another wagon for the day. A lot of really beautiful produce that we picked. We are starting to grab a few cucumbers from these pickling cucumbers. They've matured to the point where we can harvest some. It's just still really, really early. And with the cooler nights that we've been having, they're just not growing as fast as they used to. So we're getting some here, but not near as much. We did need a few pickling cucumbers for an order. We've now got them. And we also grabbed a lot of zucchini because, well, we've been selling a lot. And again, we have orders. Once we got done with the zucchini, the wagon went home with everything that was on it. And we wanted to grab a few peppers. So we picked anywhere from 12 to 13 baskets of peppers. And now we're gonna be taking these back to the farm. But we don't have enough room, so we gotta wait for the wagon to be unloaded, and then the peppers will be on their way back too. How are your twins doing over here, Ronnie and Lily?
Ronnie's not too smart.
Oh, no, that's not good. Well, everyone, we have reached the end of the day. We got the farm market all closed up. I got a good bag of goodies here. I got some stuff that Lauren and I need. And I also got corn that Grammy had cut up for us so that we can freeze at home. And Grammy, she takes care of me. I just got home and I have my two little broccoli eaters here. How's the broccoli today? How's the broccoli today? Was it good? Got a little broccoli on our face, uh-oh. Hey everybody, so it's pretty late here. We ended up going over to Uncle Joel and Aunt Megan's house, and we were hanging over there because the family was all here. And yeah, we got home late. So yeah, that means this is where we're gonna end the video today. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.